Hello there, Sagittarius. Thank you for stopping by for your weekly tarot forecast for the week of April 20th through the 26th. I am using my Russian Tarot of St. Petersburg once again. And so what I have coming up for Monday is I have the World card for you, Sagittarius. The World card is an awesome card. This is like the dreams come true card in my decks. And so the World card really tells me that you have something in your life that you have been manifesting or working on manifesting for a while that actually shows up and comes in on Monday. All right. So then on Tuesday, what we have coming up is we have the Wheel of Fortune. This is another really great card. What a great start for your week, Sagittarius. So the Wheel of Fortune just means that there is something that's incredibly lucky that happens for you Tuesday. Not that I believe in luck. I believe all things are lined up by Sacred Spirit, but it's going to be something that happens for you that you would have never predicted and probably never even expected, that is going to be for your benefit, for your good. So, by the world's definition, lucky. So a lucky Tuesday to you, Sagittarius, yay. And then Wednesday, what we have showing up is we have the Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups is beginning of a new love. So whenever I see the Ace of Cups, this is talking about that there's something in your life that that's coming into your life on Wednesday that you're just starting to have those first feelings for, that can grow into something that is really much bigger, but something that you're very excited about, passionate about, and really just enjoy. So for some of you, this could be somebody giving you a musical instrument that you've never had before, or maybe it's your first lesson with the instrument, or maybe somebody gives you like a RC car or RC airplane, and you start to get into them for hobbies. Or it could actually be meeting a new person that you're going to be caring a lot about in your life. Now, when I say meeting a new person, this could be somebody who has the potential to be a romantic partner. It could be somebody who has the potential to be a really good friend. Could also be bringing a baby home. Beginning of new love. Maybe a baby is born today for you. So Sagittarius, beginning of some kind of new love on Wednesday. Wonderful, good thing. And then on Thursday, what you have coming up is you've got the Two of Coins, which shows up. Now, the Two of Coins just tells me that on Thursday you're going to be really busy. The thing about the Two of Coins is that even though you're busy, the people around you don't see you as necessarily busy. As in, well, they don't see you as over busy. They see you as handling everything that's on your plate very gracefully and being able to take care of it all efficiently and well. So even though you're feeling a little bit busy and a little bit hectic, other people aren't seeing you. They aren't perceiving you to be that way. They're just perceiving you as somebody who has everything all together and taken care of and lined up, all your ducks in a row. Okay, so that's your Thursday, Sagittarius. Now, Friday, we have the High Priestess showing up. Okay, so I've got a new meaning on this for you guys. I've never had this meaning come through on this card before. So High Priestess in reverse is what you got. So when the High Priestess comes up in reverse, what I'm feeling off of this card for you today, Sagittarius, is that there are things going on in your life that they're kind of red flags in some kind of situation, and this can be in any situation. So we're not going to limit this to relationships. This could be something about a business project. This could be something about a vehicle. This could be something about a house. But you've got some red flags going on about something in your life on Friday. Now, with the High Priestess being in reverse, you're basically taking those red flags and you're ignoring them, or you're sweeping them under the carpet. You're not paying attention to these red flags. That's what's showing up in your general reading for today. So obviously that's not going to apply to everyone. It's just going to apply to the majority of Sagittariuses. But what I would suggest, since this card is coming up with this, and I'm getting this type of situation coming off of it, where you're sweeping those red flags under the carpet, then what I would advise is, if you notice a red flag and you kind of catch yourself kind of going, oh, that's not so important, you might want to sort of step back and take a look and look at, why am I saying this isn't so important? Why am I treating this as if it's no big deal? Is it really because it's no big deal, or is it because I just don't want to face what the implications are if this is more important? Because that's the way to kind of catch some of these red flags instead of just poo-pooing them off. You know, those red flags, when you get them, if you can pay attention to them, if you can face the implications and pay attention to them, it can make your life a whole lot easier. So this is kind of the heads up that you guys have these red flags coming in. If you can pay attention to them, that's going to help you. However, what I see is that right now, unless you guys change this with your free will, I see that most of you guys are just going to be sweeping these red flags under the carpet. Now, moving on to Saturday. Saturday we have the Queen of Cups. Gosh, I'm just stuck on this other card. Spirit's not letting me quit talking about it. So we're going to go back to Friday with the High Priestess in reverse. Spirit is asking me to tell you guys that sometimes we are given red flags even when they're hard for us to face the implications of what they mean, because Spirit's trying to warn us about a certain situation or a certain thing in our life that needs to be taken care of, needs to be paid attention to. You know, sometimes in relationships we have those red flags because we need to get out before we get any more damage done to ourselves, or possibly before we get any damage done to ourselves. And if it's about, you know, your house or your vehicle, those red flags are important for you to take care of those things so that you don't end up later on with a much bigger problem than what just this little red flag is. So when we get these types of red flags, they are really messages from Spirit for us to pay attention to. You know, Spirit talks to us in a lot of different ways. So when we see these, it's like Spirit, those red flags are like Spirit putting something right in front of our face. This is something you need to take care of. And like I said earlier, a lot of times we don't pay attention to red flags because we don't want to face the implication. You know, maybe we see something going on in the house and we feel like, oh, that's a crack in the foundation. That could cost me a lot of money to fix that. Well, it's going to cost you a lot more if you don't fix it. You know, if you start to see red flags with a relationship and you don't do anything about it, or you don't protect yourself in that relationship, then you're going to see a lot more than a red flag later on. You know, so these are just messages from Spirit to say, hey, pay attention. It's like Spirit is blinking the yellow caution sign for you whenever he sends you a red flag like this. Always good not to sweep those under the rug and pay attention to them. Okay, so can we talk about something else yet? Okay, cool. All right, so Saturday, again, Queen of Cups coming up for you, Sagittarius. So the Queen of Cups is just telling me that on Saturday, you're in a really great place. This really would be a sign that shows up typically for, or a card that shows up typically for a water sign. And Sagittarius, I know that you're not a water sign, but the Queen of Cups, I feel like this is talking about you Saturday. And this is telling me that on Saturday, you're feeling really in touch with your emotions. You're allowing yourself to feel your real, true emotions. And you're in a place where you can really express those and let those out, whether they be positive, whether they be negative. And you feel comfortable expressing or letting those out with someone, maybe with everyone. Maybe you're getting so comfortable in your skin, you can let those out wherever you are. But definitely with someone, you feel safe enough to let those feelings actually come to the surface and come out. For some of you, I feel like you're going to be having some really good emotions. You're going to have, you know, some things that make you feel really, really happy and satisfied and like you're on the right path in life. For some of you, though, I feel like these are going to be some more negative emotions that come up. These are some emotions that kind of go along with those red flags you've been kind of pushing under the carpet, that something really is going to kind of trigger your reaction to all the things that you have been pushing under the carpet. And so now all of a sudden here's this explosion of negative energy or negative response that you haven't really allowed yourself to make before. And it's really interesting in our society because we're taught here where I live in the United States, we're taught for the most part that, you know, it's ugly for a woman to cry, it's ugly for a woman to be angry, that, you know, a woman is always supposed to be smiling and happy and happily helping whoever's around her. She's supposed to be the happy nurturer. And a lot of times women especially are under pressure not to express their emotions, especially if they're negative emotions. And so what happens is those things get bottled up inside of us. We have no way of expressing them healthily that's accepted by our society. And what happens inevitably is eventually those emotions have to come out one way or another. And so I'm really feeling like there's about 60% of you that were dealing with negative emotions on Saturday, and I feel like they've been emotions that have been bottled up. Okay, I'm going to say more than 60%, maybe 80% of you. And not just women. Women are under additional pressure with their emotions, but men are under a pressure too. They're supposed to always stay calm and not show any emotion, happiness or sadness. So for you men, some of you could be releasing some happy emotions. More of you might be releasing happy emotions than the women. So yeah, that's really the message that I'm getting, is that you're going to be coming into a healthy place, because our society does not have us in a healthy place when it comes to emotions. So you're going to be coming into a healthy place where you're allowing yourself to feel and express your emotions. And it does, this card really indicates it's a healthy expression. It's healthy for you to express these. So even though it turns into an explosion, it's like, thank God you got it out. It's like the pressure cooker that blew up because nobody was paying attention to it. You know, you haven't paid attention to these feelings for so long. Well, something has to give, so now the pressure cooker blows up. But once the pressure cooker blows up, then you're feeling much better. You have a better balance after you get all this stuff out of you. It's like vomiting all the negative right out of your body so that you can go on and be healthy. All that toxic stuff is no longer there, so your body can start to actually feel better. All right, so I know that's kind of a gross example. Anyway, let's move on. Sunday, what we have showing up is we have the 9 of Cups, which actually just kind of verifies what I just said. So your healthy expression of emotions on Saturday that you haven't expressed for a very long time probably puts you in a really great emotional place on Sunday. On Sunday, you're feeling like, wow, I got this covered. You're not going to be feeling like burdened down by old stuff. You're going to feel like you're in a fresh new place, and you're going to be looking around at your fresh new start and just really appreciating it and being grateful for being in that particular place emotion-wise on Sunday. So Sagittarius, that is your reading. For those of you who would like to schedule a private session with me, feel free to check out my website. I am at amista.info, amista.info. Once you're there and you've poked around a bit, if you still feel like I'm the best reader for you, then go ahead and contact me and we will schedule you a session as quickly as possible. And for everybody else, I will see you all here next week. Everyone have a great week. Peace out.